Okay, boys, we have an absolutely insane turn of events. Okay? So, what has happened, and I thought this was a rumor, but turns out it's on all of the official pages. Fellowship lost their publisher. Now, I don't know the exact reasons for all of this. I just kind of woke up recently, and yeah, this is kind of fucking nuts. I woke up like a couple hours earlier, and I saw something on the community hub, and I was like, there's no way this is real, so I needed to look into it. And so Fellowship now has lost their publisher of Arc Games. Apparently, Arc Games was sold off by I think it was Embracer Group, it said from the little bit that I looked at. So like a bigger group sold the publisher and didn't want them because they weren't doing that well. And then the publisher sold Fellowship. And so now Fellowship has joined Coffee Stain Studios. Now, this is actually incredibly good news, I'm not gonna lie. Well, it could be terrible news, could also be incredibly great news. Because Coffee Stain Studios, if you don't know who they are, made Satisfactory, which is absolutely exceptional. And Satisfactory is also a very community first, community focused type of game where they do like, streams like Hamish does all the time. And they try to build the game for the community. So it could be a very good match. Now, on top of that, that's also going to change a lot of things because they might not push as heavily for the monetization angle as Arc Games slash what was Perfect World, which I have played way back in the day. That game was exceptionally over monetized. Every single game that Perfect World Entertainment made was exceptionally over monetized. So maybe we got lucky with this publisher switch happening before the shop came in, because were the shop to come in under Perfect World Entertainment, then they would have gone absolutely crazy. Now I don't know how closely related Art Games is. I don't know if it was just a name switch and whatever have you. Well, I haven't looked into all of this sort of stuff. Okay, I'm not going all that deep, but I just want to show you this. This is just absolutely mental. Fellowship is moving under Coffee Stain, and the shift could mean major improvements for players. And then there's proof on the website for the studio itself. Fellowship joins the Coffee Stain portfolio on November 26, 2025. And then it also says, Fellowship lets you go on intense dungeon runs together with your friends and rewards team coordination and strategy. Yes, it's a shame there is no team coordination whatsoever. So, boys, what are we thinking about this? Because now, this is also very telling, because I thought Fellowship was doing exceptionally well because of the amount of money they made on supporter packs. When the season started, I saw every fucking person wearing the supporter packs. Like, they must have made a bag. But then the player base heard that there was going to be resets, and all of the casuals fell off a cliff. And so what I think happened was the player drop-off hit, then Arc Games lost access to whatever the bigger fish was, and then Arc Games said, okay, well, we need some income, so we're gonna sell this off to one of the other deals we have, potentially, or they saw the player drop off and went, yeah, no, we're out of here, goodbye. Because Fellowship did go from 40k to around 10k after not only resets were announced, but mid-season, which is about a month or so after. And that's how seasonal games normally work. They start off and go really hard on the new update with the new content, and then they slowly but surely drop off a cliff because everyone starts to go play other games until about month 3, month 4. Then everyone starts going when reset, when reset, when reset, which is kind of where we're at right now. And then reset comes down and it goes all the way back to the moon again. So, that being said, though, this is going to change the development structure quite heavily because they could be more hands on, they could be a lot more hands off. We'll have to see how this goes, but good news is out of all the publishers that could be picked up by, Coffee Stain is, I'd say, relatively good. Um, Yeah, I mean, I'd say they're a pretty safe bet. Now, with that being said, what are they going to implement and what routes are they going to take? Are they going to try and handle the toxicity problem and try and make it an actually wholesome game? That would be great, but then you're going to run out of players exceptionally fast because right now all that's left are toxic players. So if you start banning toxic players, you're going to need to start adding bots to be able to play the fucking game because you're going to have nobody left, which is gonna be an interesting problem. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not gonna lie, because I did enjoy Satisfactory, but I found that games dedicated to just building like that didn't have like enough content for me. Whereas Fallout 4, for example, was like I could do the satisfactory building stuff and then still just go and fucking shoot something. So it wasn't entirely enough for me, but everything I've heard from Coffee Stain and from Satisfactory and all that has been absolutely exceptional. I'm curious how much the game cost to buy. That's the other thing I'm actually wondering about. I wonder how much Fellowship sold for. I don't think there's any statistics on anything like that, but that would be genuinely funny. How much do you think this game would have sold for? I don't even know how long they were in development for. But I just wanted to put this out there and show you guys that I don't know if we should be excited or worried because a publisher switch a month in, a month and a half in, is what happened to Wayfinder. And if you don't know what that game was Digital Extremes was publishing for them, and those are the guys who made Warframe. And Wayfinder was supposed to be a brand new MMO. And so what happened was the MMO came out, it launched, and they had massive server problems, the exact same way Fellowship did. And during those server problems, Digital Extremes just went, yeah, nope, we're done here. We're not publishing anymore. Goodbye. And I assume it must have been as a result of the server problems because they lost so much money. There was a bunch of refunds and all these people couldn't play, and it was just absolute fucking uproar. So the publisher just like washed their hands of it and walked away. Now, Fellowship had the exact same problem. We used to joke about Raid Boss 1, Raid Boss 2, and Raid Boss 3 being the initial queue, and then the stronghold loading screen, and then actually getting into a match. All three queues could take you up to an hour, if not longer, to be able to play the goddamn game, which was not particularly ideal. But yeah, so after that happening, and then now the publisher pulling out, we're kind of looking like a Wayfinder replay. And the way that went was Wayfinder turned into a single-player action RPG that happens to have co-op. Now, what's going to happen with Fellowship? Well, I suppose we're going to have to wait and see.